Well, greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 231 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. I'm Rick Verbanis, and I'm your host. I've got a co-host, best gosh darn one out there. You know his name. It's Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob. Just as every cop is a criminal and all the sinners saints, as heads as tails, just call me Lucifer, because I'm in need of some restraint.
Nice. Well, I don't know. I don't know the call out. Is that a song? Is that a poem?
That is song. All right, let me get to another verse. Ready?
All right.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess
All right.
my name.
Uh,
Hoo hoo.
would it be a Rolling
Hoo
Stones song?
hoo. Yes, it is.
All
Sympathy
right.
for a Devil.
All right. I got that one. All
Yeah,
right.
that was
Good.
what year did that come out?
Oh, could it be 1974?
No, it's a good guess, but no. Yeah, it's
Uh,
1968. 1968, big hit for them.
yeah, I wasn't listening to the radio then.
Yeah,
So
well, come on. You're like me. You had older siblings. You
I
listened to
did.
their music,
I did.
right?
Yep.
Classic rock. I mean, I listened to the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Who, the Zeppelin, Pink
I was
Floyd,
Elton John.
Elton John, definitely Elton John.
I had an older brother who was a huge Elton John fan. In fact, he took me to an Elton John concert. It was my first concert. So,
Oh yeah, how old were you?
oh gosh, I had to have been 13,
Okay,
13 maybe. Yeah.
all right. Elton was still in his prime.
Yeah, it was a great show. I don't know why he did that. Like, I don't know if the date fell through or something, or he was just being nice.
Probably.
I was thinking about that the other night, actually. I was like, that's like a big thing, you know?
Yeah. And
And we
how old was
drove
your
down,
how was your brother at the time?
well, he was probably late 20s.
Late 20s. You were 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we drove down there in his, I'm pretty sure at that time it was still a Trans Am with T-tops.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah. I know at some point he traded that in for Firebird
Of course he did.
with T-tops.
Of course. Yeah. So
So
I did you ever have a car with T-tops?
I know I never had I had a convertible, but not T-tops.
Oh, you had a convertible. Nice.
Yeah.
I've never had a convertible.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I was working for this um, chain of automobile dealers down in
Yeah.
Atlanta. And one of the perks was you got to drive one of the cars from the lots,
Mm-hmm.
and you paid like a real small monthly fee that basically just covered the insurance. And
Nice.
you could drive it around for, like a couple thousand miles tops, and then you had to turn it in and get another one.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I had I guess it was a Chevy Camaro with T-top,
Uh-huh.
and
Nice.
I was driving around like a boss, man.
Yeah, I bet. I
I
bet.
was. I popped those babies out.
Oh, those are nice. Those are
Yeah.
nice. Well, I had a Miata, so not quite as boss as a Camaro or a
No.
Firebird or a Trans Am, but I loved that car. And in
Miatas are
fact,
cool. They're little still. Yeah.
so much fun. So
My
much
wife
fun.
had a Miata.
Did
Was it
she?
a stick shift?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she had a
absolutely.
stick shift Miata.
Loved it.
Misses it to this day.
Yep, it was a fantastic car, and I bought it from a friend of mine. And when he still had it, it was brand new. We both drove it to San Francisco from Arizona to meet up with some ladies who were flight attendants. And I remember we pulled up to the hotel where we were staying, and we were both wearing like leather jackets and sunglasses.
Of
And
course.
this whole group of Japanese tourists came out of the front doors up to the car, and we're like, "Oh, rock and roll star, photo, rock and roll star."
Okay. Um, I hope that was exactly how it went.
It was
No
exactly.
exaggeration.
There's no exaggeration. And Scott and I like looked at each other and just went with it. So got out of the car, posed for pictures with them. I don't know who they thought we were.
Yeah. Well, you were Maverick. He was Goose.
Yeah, we were looking good. I have a picture of us sitting in the car with the jackets and the sunglasses. I'll have to send it to you, Rick, because it was.
Oh, totally. Send it to me.
Yeah,
I will post it up during editing. I'll put it up so we can all
on that trip.
take a look at it.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of being in cars and driving and Rolling Stones' "Sympathy for a Devil," so I had a friend. He had a rule whenever this song came on, because you hear the background, hoo hoo,
Right?
hoo
Yeah.
hoo, right? You just want to
Yeah.
do that, and he was like, if you hoo hoo The rule is you got to hoo hoo every time they hoo hoo the
Yeah.
entire song. You
Can't
are
be
not
selective.
allowed to just do a few
Yeah.
hoo hoos.
Yeah.
And to this day, God, that was, I don't know, 30 some years ago, right? Like
Yeah.
35 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
40 years? No, I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, I'm getting old. But to this day, every time I hear the song, I think of that.
That seems a reasonable rule, though. I mean, you're all in or you're not. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Bob, birthdays. So interesting enough, we try to celebrate Captain America creator birthdays. And if you are listening when this comes out, it is Wednesday, March 12th. And it is a few days from now, March 16th, is the birthday of Todd McFarlane.
All
Now,
right.
I know what you're thinking.
Right. Yeah.
What does Todd McFarlane have to do with Captain America? Well, if you remember back in episode 127, we covered the Amazing Spider Man last three issues of the Assassin Nation plot, which had Captain America showing up in the pages of Spider Man. And we covered Amazing Spider Man 323 through 325, which had McFarlane art. And it had that famous
Mm-hmm.
cover where Cap is on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man. He's kind of holding his shield up, and then Spider-Man's kind of behind him, kind of crouched down, right?
Right. Yeah.
So famous that McFarlane turned it into kind of like a 1/10 scale figure
Yep.
not too long ago, right?
I've got that.
Do
Yep.
you now?
I sure do. In fact, that was the episode that you explained to me the genius of McFarlane's web,
Oh yeah,
the way he drew webbing. So
yeah. I don't think I had that sound effect, but that's okay.
yeah. Okay. Well, I like to add a little extra. Hoo hoo.
So happy birthday to the Todd father, Todd McFarlane.
This episode is brought to you by Hyundai. Think you know what an electric vehicle should be? Think again. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N, Hyundai is redefining what EVs should be. Learn more about Hyundai EVs at HyundaiUSA.com. EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Well, Bob, we are going to be covering today part 2 of the long tail story. So the second Wednesday of every month, we're doing our long tail story, and we've actually been covering this for a little while because we started with the Secret Empire, and then that rolled right into what we're calling the Nomad storyline, right?
Right.
So today we're covering Captain America 177, which is part 2, and as you pointed out, came out in 1974. Should we get to today's comic?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So this had the same creative team as last time. So writer Steve Englehart, penciler Sal Buscema, inker Vinnie Coletta, colorist Linda Lessman, letterer Artie Simic, editor Roy Thomas. Now the cover was done by both Gil Kane and John Romita. You know how you could tell it's got Gil Kane art?
How can you tell, Rick?
Because he likes to draw characters that have their bottom of their nose exposed.
Ah, interesting.
That is
I
a
noticed
Gil
that.
Kane.
That's a tell.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Although I could see Romita did the face on this one. It doesn't look like Gil Kane's face. But the Falcon looks like Gil Kane. Do you want to take the listeners through the cover?
Yeah. So it's a pretty nifty cover, right? We got just a beautiful canary yellow background, and we see an image of Cap almost taking up half the cover. But it's in a like a gray tone, right? It's a little bluish gray. So he's not actually in the scene, but we can tell that his presence, or probably his decision that we covered in the previous issue 176, is looming over this situation in some unspoken way. And then we see Falcon, and he's engaged in combat with another character, and this character is Lucifer. So, who I don't think
Wait a minute. The
yeah,
devil?
no, not the devil, the other Lucifer. So, we've seen Lucifer before. He's been in X-Men and I think in Avengers previously, and he's back. I think he'd been banned for a while, but now he's back, better than ever. And he looks like he's got the upper hand in this fight against Falcon. Falcon doesn't look to be doing too well. It looked like he's about, I don't know what he's doing here, quite frankly, but he's either slipped on ice or he's been thrown backward by the force of Lucifer's strike. And Lucifer's hand continues to move around, his right hand anyway, continues to move around and slam against a wall, basically, crumbling the bricks out of the wall with a tremendous force. And the title of this on the cover says, "The Falcon Fights Alone." And we've got some text bubbles here. And it says, "Captain America is no more, and you can never stand alone against the sheer raw power of Lucifer." So it begs the question, and the question is printed on this cover: is this Falcon's finest hour or his day of doom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for taking us through that. Were you familiar with Lucifer before reading this?
Heck no.
I don't think many people were, unless you were an X-Men fan, because you
Right.
did point out, the X-Men. So, yeah, Lucifer was introduced in 1965 in X-Men #9, and then he came back a year or so later in X-Men 20 and 21, and then he popped up in 1969 for a one-issue story with Iron Man #20, and that was it. That's it. And Steve Englehart, he
Right.
likes to pull these obscure characters.
Yeah.
He has done that many times during this Captain America story, and so here he is pulling this one. How would you describe what Lucifer looks like?
Well, he's got a little bit of a Magneto look to him, don't you
He
think?
does, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He's sort of a reddish crimson tunic and pantaloons with a purple cape and purple boots and purple gauntlets and a purple belt. And then he's got a helmet that basically one of those 3/4 helmets that covers everything but his mouth and chin. So a little bit like a Spartan like helmet, but again, like Magneto.
Yeah, and he's got that funky little thing that kind of goes down from his shirt or tunic or whatever that kind of goes down past his crotch, like a little mini skirt.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
was never a big fan of that look.
Well, it's nice about it though is like if you forget to zip your pants, it covers it. So
Oh, that's true. No
yeah,
XYZ going
right.
on there.
It's functional.
Yeah. So he is a 6'2", 325-pound male, and he,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he
What was that weight?
325 pounds.
Oh, all right. That's a big.
He doesn't
chunk of
look
change.
heavy, but he's
Yeah.
dense,
Dense. Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
he is from another star system.
Right. Yeah.
He's not from Earth.
All right.
He
makes
is what
sense.
they call an alien.
Ooh. Yeah. In this
Yeah.
case, most assuredly undocumented.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, better call ICE.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to. Oh, and by the way, I didn't mention this, but the cover date was September 1974, but release date June 11th of 1974. All right, let me grab my copy from the spinner rack.
Man, 25 cents too. 25 cents.
That's a bargain.
It is. It's funny, you think in terms of these, change, right? Denominations, right? And I always think, 25 cents, right? But, and I think to myself automatically, phone call. right?
How much was a phone call back then, though?
Well, you probably 10 cents, right? You know
Mhm.
that saying, drop a dime on somebody, you stick the dime in. But, in my youth, I remember it was a quarter by then. You had to put a quarter in the
Drop a
payphone.
dime on somebody meant call them?
I meant call the police
That
or something.
makes so much more sense than what I thought it meant.
I think it means call the police, right? You drop the dime on somebody. I got a tip.
Uh-huh. Man, I learned something all the time with you, Bob.
Like, that wouldn't even hurt if you dropped a dime on somebody.
I don't know. I was
Unless
like,
you did it from a skyscraper, I guess.
drop a dime bag or something. I don't know.
Oh, all right. I'm not familiar with the street lingo, Rick. So. Family show.
How about when we had Aaron Paul on
Uh-huh.
for the movie review that we did, the live episode,
Mhm.
and he talked about street. He said, Rick, you and your hoodies, you have street cred.
Yeah. Those are some words I bet you never thought you'd hear.
Never.
In a million years.
I'm pretty sure if I'm walking down the street and
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Captain America hoodie,
Yeah.
I don't got a whole lot of credit.
Hey, you. Oh, sorry, bro. Didn't see the hoodie.
It is, yeah. Right. But I appreciated that. Thank you.
That was
Aaron.
nice.
Yeah.
He's a true gentleman. Yeah, officer and a gentleman.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right. What's the title to this particular story, Bob?
Oh, so Lucifer, be thy name.
Hoo-hoo. All right, so we open it up into a gigantic splash page, and it's a splash page where Captain America, Steve Rogers, in full Captain America uniform, and with wrong colored stripes on his uniform, he is battling. He's punching one guy, hitting another guy with his shield, and then there's the Falcon who's flying in, and they're on a hill. And at the top of the hill is a castle, and it's the middle of the day, and they're fighting this army of guys wearing weird helmets, and then they're using Kirby-esque type of pistols and rifles. And what's going on? It's like, what?
How could this happen? He said he wasn't going to be Captain America anymore. Like, where he changed his mind?
Okay, true believers. So you tuned in and turned on to Last Ish, wherein Cap gave up being Cap and meant it. So then you ask, what's this? Whatever it is, there's more of it, along with all the answers, just around the bend. All right, so we turn the page, and Cap, he's just going through them. Good Lord, it's Captain America. Don't let. It's not a question of letting, mister. And then Falcon goes through them, flying through. It's a question of getting out of our way. We're through them, Falc, but we can't stop for applause. We've got no more than 90 seconds to reach our objective. Lead the way, partner. Might as well find some use for your super strength. And Cap busts through the wooden door. It's funny, Cap, but I used to feel jealous of your extra power. There was no need, Sam. I never had any intention of showing you up. Anyway, your new wings put us even again. But wait, there it is. The Brain Blaster. Bob, what's the Brain Blaster?
I have no idea what a brain blaster is. It's like a tropical drink that you get on a cruise or something. Or one of those all-inclusive resorts. I'll have 2 brain blasters, please. Bring them to my room.
I was actually kind of asking you to describe what the Brain Blaster looked like. But,
all right.
I really liked your answer.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a big, shiny, chrome-plated drone of some sort that, is probably around maybe 15 feet long and maybe about 4 feet in diameter. And it's got some stubby wings on it, and it's on a launcher on this castle tower pointed out a window. So we assume it's some sort of maybe surface to air missile.
Looks like a big bullet.
Yeah, like a big bullet. Quite honestly, when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, they're going to get on that drone and it's going to fly up in the air and it's going to explode and they're both going to fall off.
Well, you're halfway there.
Because it reminded me of Zemo's drone there.
You know, all of us kind of got that, Bob. You didn't. We didn't need the last part.
Okay, got it. Oh, this might have new listeners.
If it goes off in here, it'll destroy the work of years, decades. Hurry, Falk. Help me shove it out the window. Cap, it's a bombshell. A giant bombshell. Right, buddy. The biggest thing I've ever set my eyes on. And I went through World War II. I thought I'd seen everything, what with the Nazis and all. Push, Falk. Just a little more. Cap, it's too late. She's gonna blow.
Bam!
And then, suddenly, Sam Wilson wakes up, and it was a dream, but a particularly nasty dream of the utmost significance to Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon. Cap, finished, just like the way he really is. Can't I even forget in my sleep? No, I guess I can't. He had his faith in America shattered, and I've had the same thing happen to my faith in him. He was my idol, my touchstone with the way things were supposed to be. And now he just dropped out. I pleaded with him to stay cool, but nothing could have held him back. And then we cut a little flashback. I've asked myself if Captain America must die, and if I had the courage to carry out my verdict. The answer to both questions is yes. Now, Bob, I almost read it the way it was written as opposed to how it was meant to be written. Did you notice in that first bubble there's a little problem with the lettering? It's one of those things that our minds don't usually let us see.
I don't see anything.
I've asked myself if Captain America must die, and if I had
Oh, you're
the
right.
courage.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, usually our minds skip that.
Yeah.
It only reads one.
Right.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I guess the letterer just accidentally wrote the twice.
But he charged for two though.
I bet he did, yeah.
Or her. Or him. Yeah.
He's made up his mind. There's no doubt about that. But I just can't let the idea settle. We were partners, my God. And by God, we're still partners. I can't let it lie. So I'll go wake that crazy dude up and pound some sense into his head. I'm not going to let him do it. And I just want to point out what Sam is wearing to bed. So he finds wearing a shirt is too much. He goes shirtless when he's in bed. However, long pants. So he wants all of his legs covered, but none of his above half. I find that to be a little odd.
Well, different strokes for different folks.
I know.
You know, maybe just the shirts are too binding. You know, it's a big guy.
I mean, but if he's going to wear nothing up top, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, maybe some boxer shorts or something. Or,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but why is his legs get cold, but his upper half do not?
Oh, maybe they're silk.
I don't know.
Maybe he just likes the way silk feels on his skin.
But as Sam Wilson walks the lonely streets of Harlem this morning, he seems to hear a ghostly memory whispering, "It's not a question of letting, mister. At least since he's sleeping in my office, I won't wake anyone else up with this." And on the next page, we see Cap laying in a bed. Once Steve Rogers would have awakened to the sound of feet on the stairs. Now he sleeps the sleep of a babe. But when he awakens, it's immediate. "Morning, Steve. I couldn't sleep, and I was wondering if you'd like to take a spin with me on patrol." "Oh, sure, Sam. After all that's happened, after all I've said, you thought I might want to go on patrol. Sure you did." "Well, not exactly. But hey, remember how Professor X said I might be a mutant? We still have to figure out if that's true." And Bob,
Yeah.
I think I'm on to something here because Steve Rogers also slept with nothing on above and long pants just like Sam.
Yeah, he's got the same matching purple pants, but he's also got a very high-end sleeping jacket. And that
Well, it's not a sleeping jacket. He doesn't sleep in that jacket. He puts
well,
the
no.
jacket on when he gets out of bed.
Well, I know I think it's just called a sleeping jacket. We don't, fancy people don't call them bathrobes, Rick. They call them sleeping jackets, and they have those fancy velvet collars that he.
No,
seems
wait
to
a
be
minute, wait a minute.
sporting.
I remember when Red Skull was walking around with his robe, you called it something else. You called it a smoking jacket.
That's a smoking jacket. Yes, that's the, you look at what Steve's wearing, it goes down to his knees. The smoking jacket is like a regular sport coat, but
No, he had like a robe on, and you said it's not a robe; it's a
Oh,
smoking
really?
jacket.
Well, then I mistook. I misspoke. A smoking jacket is just a waist length, right? In either cases, I feel like Steve has raided Jarvis's wardrobe for this.
I think we've stumbled onto something. And back in 1974, that's how Sal Buscema slept.
This is, it could be he's drawing from his own experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, all men do this when they go to bed. So
They
I'm
wear
drawing.
pajama bottoms and no shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long pajama bottoms.
Well, I'm glad he wasn't
pajama
wearing a white.
pants.
I'm glad he didn't wear a white beater to bed.
Yeah. I'm glad he didn't sleep commando.
Comics Code would have an issue with that.
We still have to find out if that's true. No, Sam, you have to find out. And then he gets all like indignant and he's yelling here. Captain America doesn't exist anymore. He's a legend of World War II, no longer living. And since he doesn't exist, he doesn't go on patrol. Or have a partner either, I guess. All right, you can play it any way you want, my man, but I've still got a job to do, an example to set. Oh, burn. Sam, look, I'm not quitting in order to spite you. Stuff it, Steve. From now on, the Falcon doesn't have to listen to you. And now Sam's in his Falcon costume. Is it costume? Uniform? What is it? Uniform?
I like to call it a uniform. A costume just sounds so casual.
Yeah. It sounds like something like cosplayers do.
Yeah, right.
Not the people who actually wear it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Not the real deal.
So then he opens up the window about to fly out. You taught me to play the superhero game, so I'm going to play it. And I'm not looking back. Goodbye and good luck. Sam. But the Falcon pointedly stares straight ahead as he perches momentarily on the sill, before leaping and boldly into the warm summer darkness and sailing majestically away. Sam. Now, I don't know about you. I had a thought here that it's kind of like your girlfriend comes over to your apartment and you have an argument and you're like, that's it, we're through, and then you leave your own apartment and you slam the door and you're just like, dang it, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what Sam just did there, right?
Yeah.
He's leaving his own place
out of his own office.
and he's sitting on the sill and he hasn't quite left. He's like, man, I hope he's not here when I come back. Is this the way it's going to be now? Follow my conscience and lose my friends? Lose everything except my self-respect? Lord, I hope not. Only time will tell, Steve Rogers. Time in which you must learn to be only Steve Rogers. And the Falcon learns to fly only with his other partner, Red Wing. Instantly, anger floats away as both human and hunting hawk swirl in long-awaited reunion. How's it going, Brother Bird? Been a long time, but it looks like you got over okay without me. Haven't lost your habit of knowing when and where to find me, though. What did the professor say? I've heard you have an uncommon rapport with your hawk. That's something we'll have to look into, Redwing. Now there's just you and me. We cut to the next page, and the aforementioned guy on the cover, Lucifer, is standing there in his uniform. Meanwhile, in a place beyond imagination, where neither time nor space are known, a solitary figure stands, framed by a flaming alien sky, and patiently waiting. The hideously helmeted gentleman's name is Lucifer. Mark it well, for now his waiting is ended, and now he becomes a threat. At last, she has returned. The Celeron I so arduously trained has performed her task and brought me the Cassadrax mineral. Good girl, give it to me. What the heck is a Celeron, Bob?
I got to tell you, I have never before been acquainted with a Salaran, but it does look a bit like some sort of weird misshapen lion
Like a
with
griffith.
yeah, like a griffin. It's got a lion's body, but yeah, it's got very big feet, dinosaurish feet. Um, so yeah, it's an odd looking critter.
Yeah. I tried to look it up and I could not find it anywhere. It wasn't in the Marvel fandom.
Huh.
Like it wasn't, it just said a Salaron beast. I then went to CMRO, which is the complete Marvel reading order, and went into obscure characters. It's not there. I then just did a Google search and nothing. So this is the one and only two panels ever that I'm aware
Sounds like
of.
it sounds like a key issue people are going to want to snap up.
I'm thinking some sort of cap writer in the future is going to have to look up
Yeah.
a Salaron and be like, here's a callback.
Yeah. That's a deep one.
Excellent, excellent. The only extra chunk of Cassadrax in this loathsome limbo, undetectable by any save a Salaron. But now mine. Long has my dimensional transmitter lain idle, its power depleted in my previous attempt to reach Earth, but with this elusive energy stone to drive it, the transmitter shall never fail again. It will provide the eternal power I need to maintain my existence on the world of my enemies, so that I may crush them. Ah, the painful memories. I feel a flashback coming on, Bob.
I feel like one might be on our way.
Turn the page. I first came to Earth as the advanced agent of my star-based master's planned invasion, but I was soon plunged into war with the execrable X-Men. Bob, do you know what execrable means?
I do not. I would have to venture a guess, but I do not know for sure.
Oh, what do you think?
Um, I would say jerky.
I think you're. It's a good cinnamon for that. Yes. It. Uh, I looked it up
Uh-huh.
because I was curious.
Yeah.
I thought with execrable
Yeah.
that maybe it was something to do with excrements,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which would have been really shitty.
Yeah. Ooh, nicely done. Yeah.
And but it's like mean, monstrous,
Oh,
kind of.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My defeat at their hands caused the Supreme One to banish me to this nameless nether realm. And though I used the transmitter to escape once before, its power was so limited that I required a second one on Earth, and the human I chose to obtain it for me failed in that task. Now, however, there is no limit to the machine's power, for now I have obtained the long-sought Cassadrax, and so with that simple press of a button, I travel to Earth for the final time, to remain forever. Now let my enemies tremble. Now let all the earth beware. And he zaps into a alleyway in the middle of the night near Harlem.
Mm.
And there's a homeless person who is there with a bottle of something. Looks like an adult beverage. And he's sleeping, but he's awoken by seeing this being kind of materialize. And then he starts to run off, but he says a prayer, Bob. You want to say it?
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take.
And then he yells.
Ah!
And he runs away. Amazing. My appearances often excited cries of terror, but never before have I been greeted with poetry. No matter. My goal at this moment is to ascertain my location. I must be ready. When the remainder of sniveling humanity learns that Lucifer walks among them once more, they. But what is this? What is it, Bob?
It looks to be a delicatessen grocery store on the street corner.
A cache of foodstuffs. How long has it been since I tasted the delicacies of Earth? Too long. And since nothing may bar my path now, I choose to terminate my enforced abstinence. He talks funny.
It does. This is turning into what appears to be a Hostess pie advertisement.
I thought the same thing. I totally thought the same thing. I was like, this page is going to be a Hostess pie ad.
Yeah.
100%.
Has all the hallmarks.
It really does. The corny language. Yeah, you name it. I got so excited I lost my place in my car. Especially in this next panel, the way he's holding the two things. It looks like he's like holding a Hostess Twinkie and a...
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Ah, delicious. Now, wait a minute, Marvelite. Lucifer's major crime in this issue isn't the impersonation of the galloping gourmet. Honest. Actually, his sweet tooth is the most crucial part of our story, for two reasons. One, to be revealed shortly, and the other, now. Let's check the back door of this deli. And who's there, Bob?
Well, it looks like a gang of ne'er-do-wells that are maybe casing the joint.
And how often do they do well?
Nearly enough.
Nobody around, Rafe. Right on, right on. I told you, Cass, that Rafe Michelle got this old dude's weekly take covered. He'll be mighty surprised in the morning. You remember this street hustler from previous issues, right?
I do. Old Rafe.
Yeah, now Rafe.
Sometimes ally, some ally, sometimes adversary of Sam.
Well, he has a ne'er-do-well. So he has been around for the last 2-3 years. He was introduced in Captain America 143, and then he appeared for 3 issues in the 50s, 2 issues in the 60s, and now he is here. So this is totally a Steve Englehart character. Suddenly,
Clang, 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 clang.
damn, I tripped the alarm. Holy crap, Bob. He said a bad word, and this has got the approved by Comics Code Authority on the front.
Yeah, that one's so violent.
I don't know you could say damn.
Yeah.
Not in 1974 comics. I didn't think you could do that. Behind them, at the other end of the miserable alley in which these would-be bandits abruptly freeze, a police whistle skirls and running feet clatter across the littered pavement. All of a sudden, this night's adventure has a very sour taste to it. Inside, quick! Rafe, we can't hide in the deli. Nobody's asking you to hide, small-timer. We're busting out the front while the man's working on the... Hold it! There's somebody in here. Rafe, look at him. Look at him. For a moment, everyone stands transfixed at this strange turn of events, each uncertain of what it to make of the opposition. So Lucifer is also kind of standing there, taking this all in. And then the continued commotion from outside, growing louder now, prods them all to the realization of who their opposition really is. With the realization comes action. And then coming out of, I guess, the entranceway there is Lucifer shooting a ray at the police officers. The authorities shall never take Lucifer. And if you 3 stand with me, follow. Look out!
Bam!
Holy cow. What's that guy got in there? A laser? Laser my foot? That was some kind of power blast. To knock over a 2-bit deli? To knock over anyone who stand in our way, policeman. You men, attack these guardians of the law, while Lucifer destroys their reinforcements. And he picks up a police car over his head and throws it at another one. He's pretty strong.
He's a strong dude.
No one can defy my unearthly might. Let this display of primitive power prove it to you. The proof is in the pudding, Pointy Top, and I'm putting an end to your side. I got the pun.
It was a good one.
The Falcon. Braggart. Can you even hope to match my ionic energy, Falcon? Can you? And Sam pauses there for a second. Well, I'm going to try. And we turn the page, knowing that Sam is really kind of over his head here. The dude turned his back on me, like I wasn't even worth bothering with. I may not like being forced to fight without Cap, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. Mr. Purple Puss is my first challenge as a solo act. And brother, I'm going to meet that challenge head on. But the very next instant, the fantastic occurs. What just happened, Bob?
It looks like Falcon just cruised right through Lucifer's body.
I flew right through him. So everybody notices. By the Supreme Council, I didn't will that. I'm fading away. And I sense it's due to the earth food I ate. The chemicals in it, entering my bloodstream, have changed my body's composition. Yeah, a Twinkie will do that to you.
Absolutely. Size, shape, composition, the whole thing.
I'm no longer the same as when I was transmitted, and I'm being drawn back. Well, if you're splitting, Jack, so am. No, neither of us is leaving this spot. Hey, let me go. Once before, I fused my essence with that of a human, and ere I vanish, I'll do so again. No, no, But this time, with the power that remains to me, I'll ensure that the fusion is permanent. And so, Rafe Michelle, neither of us has left this spot. For now, the two beings are one. Rafe Michelle is no more. His body now houses the spirit of Lucifer. And then he fires a ray out of his hand at the Sam.
Foom.
There's that foom again. Foom. And we were talking about that in previous episodes because it seems like, that's like their little subliminal way of, pushing their fan magazine.
Right, yeah.
A Lucifer as completely here as any man on this planet. Farewell, Falcon. Farewell, fools. You shall hear from the new Lucifer again. And the police are firing at him, but no such luck. That morning, Lucifer makes page 2 of the Bugle's banner edition, but the headlines go to a national scoop. And you see a young blonde-haired boy holding a newspaper that says Captain America quits. And the boy yells out, "Get your paper! CA finished!"
You do an excellent newsy.
Thank you. Now, Bob.
Yeah.
CA?
CA. Yeah.
Really? Do people really know Captain America as CA?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to shorten it, you just call him Cap.
I think that probably would have been better. Yeah. He's obviously trying to fit the text into that word bubble.
Yeah. Well, Cap would have fit.
Yeah, would have. Yeah.
Yeah. Walking with the crowd still awake, a man we know well. The Avengers announced late yesterday that Captain America has withdrawn from their ranks and ended his long career. And Cap thinks to himself, it was Tom Sawyer, wasn't it, who went to his own funeral? But he laughed. I've got to see Sharon. Next panel, she answers the door. Hi, honey. You look beat. Come on in. Sharon, I've heard people talking since the papers first came out. Some of them are sad, some shocked, and some hate me, Sharon. Hate you? I kicked a hole in their reality, honey. I'm a stable concept that suddenly became unpredictable. That confuses people, bothers them. Nobody's happy with what I did. Except me, darling. Next page.
Nevertheless,
Yeah.
be prepared to sleep at Sam Wilson's office again this evening.
Yeah.
Hey.
Next page, we go back to Lucifer. He's there with his head in his hand, and he's glowing. I feel terrible, sick. This glow that surrounds me, that has surrounded me since my joining with Rafe Michelle. Finally, I know its purpose. And look, his face is different. He's now has like dark skin and a
Right.
and a
Yeah.
kind of like a goatee.
Right.
I sense that I have acted too much in haste. The Cassadrax amplified power of my inhuman essence is too much for an earth form to contain. This body is burning out. There exists but one hope: to transfer half of my power to another body immediately. Yeah, that immediately came to my mind too. I need now
Yeah.
to transfer half of my essence to somebody
Yeah.
else.
Do it now.
And I sense a perfect body in this building. Oh, okay. That works out too.
Convenience.
For Lucifer, nothing more need be said. And he busts into this correctional center, and he takes short work of the police officers, the guards. Lucifer is my name, and it shall be that of the human whose inner thoughts call out to my unearthly consciousness. The prisoner called Ares. Now, who's Ares, Bob?
Well, this is one of the 12 members of the Zodiac cartel, but this is the second one, I believe. What's his name? Like Grover Maynard or something like that. And this guy hasn't been around very long. He only took over as Ares like less than a year ago, I think, when this story came out.
Yeah, you're so close. It's Grover Raymond.
Raymond Maynard. Yeah, okay.
Grover
Raymond.
Grover.
Yeah.
Grover Raymond.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, and he did. He appeared first in Avengers 120. So he was in a three-part story: 120, 121, 122. Apparently, ended with him being incarcerated.
Yeah, I think I had President Maynard Fillmore on my mind.
Oh, I get that mixed
So,
up
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So, and apparently he must have just gone to jail because they didn't even bother putting him into orange
His
onesies.
jumpsuit, right? Yeah.
Still has his supervillain costume on, including his mask with the bull horns.
Right. Yeah.
Or ram horns. Those are ram horns. Sorry.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, Ram.
But isn't Ares a bull?
I don't know. He's a Greek god. I don't know what he is. Does he take the shape of a bull?
I don't know.
Hmm.
If you were your astrological sign. Okay, so I guess Toro or
Taurus.
Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the bull, right?
Is it? No, isn't that a goat too? Like Capricorn? What is Taurus? I don't know. Taurus? That's
Taurus.
Taurus. That's a car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bull. Taurus.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a ram.
Okay.
All right.
Whew, thank goodness. The
Ooh.
listeners were like, "Come on, guys, figure this out."
Yeah, you're a little Red Riding Hood, I'll bet. My friend, I'm a man who could give you power. Power to match your lust for power. Power such as this. And I'll believe this is all you need to know. And he rips the metal gate in the cage right off the hinges. My man, I've been dying in this cell, caged up like some jungle beast in the freaking zoo. I can't take this anymore, so I'm buying what you're selling. And then we turn the page, and it is a double page splash for like the top 2/3 panel. And what's going on, Bob? I mean, there's something freaky going on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it shows Ares on one side and Lucifer on the other, and there's some sort of energy that's flowing back and forth between the two. And apparently it's something to do with this transference of his energy self that he is transmitting into Ares' body.
Then bid yourself goodbye, Ares, as Lucifer becomes too. Lucifer, the tempter. Perhaps that is why the Outworlder chose the name when he first arrived, for the Earthmen he likes are those most easily seduced to his cause. And sure enough, there's now two Lucifers, including that hideous costume. We are both Lucifer now, beardless one. The power is in both of us. Lucy, Eris is gone, but I cannot mourn. Now I am Lucifer. Lucifer is all. And the glow has vanished. I suffer no longer. We are free. And then who's there waiting for him?
It's Falcon just around the corner.
That's what you think, Lucifer. Holy crow. There's two of them. And we turn the page. Oh, by the way, on the next page, there's a, where is it? I saw it in here before. Oh, the Marvel value stamp.
Who is it?
Mephisto. How apropos is that? You
Very
have
nice.
Lucifer and
Yeah.
Mephisto.
Right.
Both names for the devil.
Clever.
Well, Mephisto is short for Mephistopheles. But anyway. The Falcon. Once again, you stand in Lucifer's path, but this time I'll blast your menace to... What is this? I cannot summon my ionic energy. That's okay, Lucy. You can still get a Falcon fist. And he punches him in the face.
Wham! Scream!
Cretin! Dividing my power must have undone my ionic abilities. Yet my physical strength remains undiminished. And now, as you so incisively noted, there are two of us with Lucifer's strength. And then he bats Redwing.
Ah!
Redwing! Judge the Falcon gently, reader. He's still adjusting and will continue to do so as soon as he wakes up, because he just gets nailed by one of the Lucifers. And he goes flying. Attention, alter ego. An auto approaches. We get to the last page. Traffic in this tucked away corner of the city is always light. Thus, the sudden intrusion of this long, dark limo seems a new threat. But, amazingly, the window comes down for the driver. Cop reinforcements are right behind me. Get in quick. Well, why not? What is Lucifer to fear? And he gets in the speeding away vehicle. You know how you can tell it's speeding away, Bob?
Would it be the smoke and dust being jettisoned out the back?
Yeah, the exhaust, yeah. And now, to make our tale complete, look who's happened by. It's Steve. Out walking, still trying to come to terms with his new role, Steve Rogers finds fate has preceded him. Falk. Back off, buddy. If you'd been here when you were needed, we could have taken those two. Back off yourself, Falk. I'm just a bystander. I offer you sympathy, but I'm not coming back. Did we say that our tale was complete? We lied. There is one final scene to be played far away, and this is it. So the limo drops off the two Lucifers. They get out of the vehicle, and one of them's, waving nicely to the driver, like, thanks.
I'll rate you. Rate you on the
And-
app.
And who's there, Bob? It's somebody we know.
Yes. Morgan.
Yeah, he's the kind of the head of the Harlem
The
Rockets,
heavies.
right?
Yeah.
What is this place? Why have we been brought here, and by whom? You can thank me for that. My name is Morgan. I'm a businessman, and my business is running the rackets in Harlem. Once I heard of your exploits last night, I knew I had a business proposition for you. It's quite simple, really. Find a way that it can't be tied to me, and kill the Falcon. More on Captain America, or lack of same, and the terrible consequences if the Falcon falls. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, hot dog.
All right, Bob, what are your immediate thoughts on this particular issue?
Well, it's a little upsetting. But I mean, pretty standard fare from 1970s. Lucifer, pulled out of earlier books, kind of a deep pull character. But the disturbing part is Steve Rogers' behavior, right? I think that's the elephant in the room. He's just very short tempered with his buddy and his pal and his partner. And part of that obviously can be explained away. He's having a difficult time processing this. So, and Sam's not being the most understanding and accepting friend either. So they're both setting themselves up for conflict here.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It does seem a little out of character for Steve to, react so angrily. Usually he's a lot more stoic and even tempered. So seems a little out of character.
Yeah. But everybody has a bad day, right?
Especially if you just got woken up.
Yeah. Right.
I found it interesting that because he's no longer Captain America, his ability to hear the footsteps on somebody, approaching him went away. Like he's turned off that aspect of himself. Like,
Right.
what? I don't have to be on alert.
I'm
I'm
not doing
retired.
that. I'm sleeping on a cot in my friend's office. Turn that right off.
I gotta say, I don't know if it was this particular issue or whatever. I found like the writing was a little corny.
Yeah.
Some of the dialogue was corny, but also just these leap of faith of just going from one thing to the next. I mean, like I have to now all of a sudden split myself in two. Like that was a thought in this man's head. I now have to split myself in two.
Yeah.
And a vehicle just pulled up. Yeah, sure, I'm going to get in it.
Yeah.
And what
yeah.
the heck,
Yeah.
right?
In the interest of moving the story along, there's some shortcuts that have been taken here.
Totally,
for sure.
Steve just happens to be up and about, walking in that direction.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sharon's a very, very much a two-dimensional character. I don't know.
Here we go. Guy in his early 50s just doesn't hit the same way as it does when you're 10.
No, but you know what? There are all these comic book fans out there.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm not going to read anything from the last 30 years because everything was so much better when I was a kid. And like, have you reread it lately?
Have you read them? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's
and you're
usually my
telling me,
sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling me that this stuff, is better than what's currently being written. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nostalgia. Is what
it is. Of course. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Listen, I have a sweet spot for the Demataz Zek run, and so I get it. But yeah, I don't know. This one just didn't sit that well with me.
Yeah, it's not one of the better issues that Englehart has written. It's serviceable, and for the time in the audience, it was fine, right? But it's not high art here.
Yeah, and maybe I just need to give Steve Englehart a little bit of a break, right? Because he's not just writing Captain America during this time. He's actually writing 3 other ongoing series at the same time as Captain America, right? So in this month, when this came out, also Doctor Strange #3 came out, Avengers 127, Captain Marvel 34. He's writing all of these, so yeah, I guess he needs to take a shortcut here or there.
Yeah, right. I mean, the machine was working, churning out the issues, and I think we both agree for the time and the place. Picking this up for 25 cents off the spinner rack, you were happy to have it.
100%. All right, Bob, you get to go first. So, what is your favorite panel in this issue?
Well, I'm going to have to go with that splash page, Rick. That page 1 splash page with with Cap and Falcon, and they're doing their thing. And there's the castle in the back. It just looks like a wonderful vacation spot. Other than what appears to be the villainous hordes and the battle going on. But I like this. It doesn't. It's obviously not a World War II story, but it has that sense of, and it's drawn like a Tales of Suspense story. You know, Sal is clearly tapping into, as you pointed out, the Kirby themes with the helmets and the weapons, and so it has that feel of a Tales of Suspense story, except we've got the Falcon in it. So I think it sings to me a little bit. So
Okay.
how about yourself?
Oh, I've got to go with the Hostess Twinkie panel. The one where he goes, ah, delicious. And he's holding one piece in one hand, one piece in the other hand. That is so ridiculous.
Yes.
That is my favorite panel.
That's a good one. Good one.
Yeah.
I love it. I'll have to go back and look. I don't think there were any Hostess ads. There is a website out there that has all the Hostess ads, and I don't think Lucifer ever got featured in one.
I don't think they're gonna. Hey kids,
yeah.
Hey kids, look what Lucifer's doing.
Yeah. A good point. Yeah. There's
Mom's gonna be like, "What? You're not getting a devil dog."
Right.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did. Yeah. Oh, goodness. So, what do you got? What do you got for a T-shirt, Rick?
Oh, Bob, I am going to go with page 7, panel 8, and it is when Sam finally gets on his Falcon uniform, and he says, "From now on, the Falcon doesn't have to listen to you." And so, I think a picture of Sam as the Falcon and him saying that, I don't know, kind of got a double entendre thing going on.
Yeah, I like it. I had that as one of my possible choices. So
for a T-shirt.
For a T-shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, what is your T-shirt?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go with the. I think it's the page prior to that, and it's actually the callback to when Cap made the decision to give up the uniform. So that center left panel. Where he says, "I've asked myself if Captain America must die, and if I had the courage to carry out my verdict, and the answer to both questions is yes." And it's one of those seminal moments in the Captain America mythos. And so some folks won't get it, but others will definitely see it and go, "Oh yeah, that's the issue. He gave up Cap to become Nomad." So anyway, I'm going to go with that.
So you're picking a panel from a story that came before.
Yep.
For this one.
It's in this issue, buddy.
Okay. Just
loophole.
checking.
It's a loophole.
Just checking. All right, Bob. What's going in your time cap?
Oh, Rick, it's a rough one. It's a rough one. So I'm going to have to go with the fact that, we've got, as you pointed out, Grover Raymond as the Ares in this one. He had a very short career. And so it really is, if you're going to say Grover Raymond, it's a pretty narrow window of time that you're operating in. So
okay,
I'm going with him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
What about yourself?
Oh, I'm going to go with the page before that, which is page 22. I'm going to go with panel 3, and that's with the kid with the newspaper. It says Captain America quits. Talk about really pitting a time period. Get your paper. CA finished.
Love it. I miss those days. I liked having a paper.
Oh, you know what was really actually kind of cool is well, not so cool actually. So the when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I wanted to get the newspaper the next day from Philadelphia Inquirer because it had on the cover of Jalen Hurts, who's the quarterback holding the Lombardi Trophy. That's the trophy you get when you win the Super Bowl, Bob.
Got it.
And I thought it was the like confetti and all that kind of stuff.
A spaghetti eating competition trophy, but okay,
no,
it's football.
And anyway, so I asked my buddies, like, "Hey, can you go get that paper for me?" Because they live in the area and I don't. And it was later in the day, and they went, and they were like, all the places we went to were sold out. You know why it was sold out, Bob?
Why?
Because people would buy 10, 20 copies of them and then put them on eBay for mucho dollars.
Yeah, they do that now.
Yeah.
Right.
So I ended up paying like 4 times the amount
Oh my
But
gosh.
it was still the cheapest one by far. Like some
Yeah.
people wanted like 5, 6, 7 times the amount.
Can't believe
And
you didn't just go to the library and steal it. But whatever.
could. But
Yeah.
anyway, I got it back from the framers today, so I
Oh,
have it put up on the wall.
wow.
But I have all this other newspaper to read.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
will be in my copious amounts of free time
Yeah.
try to take a few articles here and there.
I do. I like a good old fashioned readable newspaper. Even the ads, man. Getting the ink on your fingers, all that stuff. Miss that.
All right, so Bob, so all our listeners should know. Again, you want the next part of the story? Come back the second week of April, and we will do Captain America 178. And if you missed 176, shame on you. That was episode 227. You know, the one that I said 227. The one that Bob had no idea what I was talking about.
Getting longer and longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pretty soon it's gonna be like a phone number you're reading off.
So, Bob, next episode, I believe we're once again checking off something from your bucket list. Bob.
Ooh, what is that?
We're going to do the one shot Captain America comic that came out in the year 2000, 25 years ago.
Mhm.
Doesn't that just make you creep out? Like, like when I
Really
hear
does.
2000, I'm like, oh, that's not that long ago. No, it's 25 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know, right?
We're going to do the one shot called Defender of Freedom.
Yes.
And it's a really cool story because I think it's written by Peter David, but it's done in the style of written by Steve Rogers.
right. Because he was a comic book artist.
Yeah. So come back next episode and we will do that panel by panel.
That's awesome. Good. Looking forward to that.
All right, Bob. As always, it's been fun wrapping cap with you.
It has indeed. I can't wait till next week.
He's Bob Lucius. I'm Rick Verbonis. And if you don't mind, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you're on YouTube, smash that thumbs up button. We appreciate that. Leave a comment. If you are on Apple, it's been a while since we've gotten a 5-star review. Would love to read that on the air. And of course, we always love seeing your comments in the Facebook group as well. So thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.